All right. I believe I'm about as set as I'm ready to go. As par for the course, I usually try getting my shows going at 10 p.m. Of course, things being what they are, my times get pushed back a little bit more and more. I may very soon start a, I don't know, a midnight stream, such as my schedule goes sometimes. Let me see here. What am I doing? What am I doing? What's on deck first? Hmm. All right. Let's see. Where am I? Oh, here I am. That's it. That's what I'm doing. Hello, everyone. As I slowly get my act to get together for tonight's live stream, I want to thank you all for joining me as always, whether live, lurking, or on replay. Let's see. As I'm trying to arrange my desk and my surroundings. Yep. I think I'm all set. I believe perhaps. Yeah, I'm about as set as I'm going to get. Here I am trying to get everything organized and give up on any kind of organization. Of course, going by the thumbnail for tonight's show, Much Ado About the Acolyte. No, this is going to be a non review show. Uh, I actually have to care about something to bother reviewing it, and since I really don't care about Disney Star Wars or what Disney calls Star Wars, I am not going to review it. I'm not even going to watch it. Uh, Plenty of other people I watch and quite enjoy their reviews of. They have a great many people have reviewed this already, and I don't really feel the need to do so myself. I will share a few articles, give some thoughts on it, and then I will, since I like ending on a positive note on my live streams, I will share some alternatives to Disney Star Wars. I've got some alternatives to Disney Star Wars in the form of physical media because I just love sharing some things I have, some good TV shows, some good movies, some good franchises. Those of us who are in the boat of Star Wars is dead, those of us who are there, you're probably looking for an alternative to Star Wars, something you can sit back and enjoy, whether it's a short series or a long form series. I have a few alternatives to that I will share with everybody. But first, I will. What am I doing here? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that as I'm going through some DVDs on my desk here, getting things situated for my show and tell segment of my live stream tonight. No, I'm going to start off with some articles I've come across, give you some thoughts on Disney Star Wars. I mean, let's face it, it's not in a good place. The more and more Disney does with Star Wars as a franchise, the more it's going to become a dumpster fire. So it's that dumpster fire that's floating down a flooded city street, that sort of thing. Let's see, where do I want to start off? I've got a number of articles I'm just going to quickly breeze through because, like I said, I just don't care enough to actually give you a review of the show. I haven't watched it. I don't have access to Disney Plus streaming service. I don't intend to give them money I have no desire to give Disney any of my money or my time. So let's see. Let's see. Oh, Rotten Tomatoes. That's a good place to. Let's see. Boom. Rotten Tomatoes. That's always a good jumping off point. Let me enlarge the screen of here. There we go. Of course, you've got the tomato meter at 93%, where the audience score is at 38%. You might as well say 90% to 40%. That is a 50 percentage point divide. And you got 1,000 plus reviews here or ratings. That's really telling. I mean, as far as Disney's continued stabs in the dark with the franchise, and oh, we got a trailer here. I'm not even going to bother with a trailer. Like I said, I have to care about it. Let's see. I'm going to breeze through a couple or three quick articles here, give some thoughts on it, and then, like I said, I'm going to spend the majority of tonight's live stream sharing some of my favorite TV shows. I mean, if you're like me and you think Star Wars is dead, you're probably looking for something to fill that sci-fi void in your life. I've got a few good alternatives I'm going to share with everyone. Hello in the chat. Low spec Linux laptop. Hello there. And you got a little penguin icon there. Very cool. It's funny to see a low spec Linux laptop because I just a month or so ago, I made the leap on my personal computer, my desktop. I left Windows behind and I have fully embraced Linux as an operating system on my main PC. It has been an adventure. So, yeah, Linux. I said goodbye to Windows and all things Windows. I never moved beyond Windows 7 Pro, but yeah, I'm still learning Linux. I went from Windows 7 Pro to, what was it? Fedora Design Suite. That has been an adventure because everything was different. There was quite a learning curve, especially trying to get things like Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Lightroom to work. But as they say, that is a story for another time. Getting back to tonight's topic, the Acolyte. I'm looking at a Screen Rant article here. The Acolyte review bombed on Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic. As we have down here, the Acolyte faces backlash from divided Star Wars fandom, with review bombing affecting ratings on Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic. Oh dear. Oh well. Yeah, moving right along. Oh, low spec Linux laptop says, yeah, there's a learning curve. My last Windows was XP. Yeah, basically Adobe don't work. Yeah, I mean, I made Adobe work for a little bit, and then I updated. What did I update? I updated Wine and something else, and then Photoshop stopped working, and then I had to learn how to use that Photo GIMP. So now I'm using that for all my things like thumbnails for my live streams. But I still have a Windows 7 Pro laptop that I have a old version of Photoshop and Lightroom. So yeah, well, and games. Linux doesn't game. I tried. I mean, I can make Unreal Tournament 1999 work. I can make maybe a few other games work, but yeah, there's still some things Windows has the edge on. So yeah, review bombing drowns out. Oh dear, yes, this is what they're going to fall back on when When you have reviews on your Acolyte show tanking, they're going to say, oh, gee, review bombing drowns out legitimate criticisms, harming constructive feedback. Yeah, it's because you don't want to listen to people who have smaller voices, who may not have YouTube channels. The regular run of the mill Star Wars fan. Oh, check Linux. Lutris for games. Okay, cool. I just made a note of that. Very cool. Let's see. Yes. The Acolyte has an audience score of just 39% on Rotten Tomatoes and a user score of 4.1 on Metacritic. There's evidence of review blah, blah, blah. I can't speak. It's been a long day, but anyway, there's evidence of a review bombing campaign. Many appear to be AI generated. Uh-oh. Yes. When you don't want to listen to concerns of real fans, you fall back on it saying, "Oh, it's disinfo. It's fake. It's all fake. It has to be AI generated." I mean, people love our shows, don't they? I mean, you loved Ahsoka, right? Book of Boba Fett, Last Jedi. Come on, Disney can slap Star Wars on anything and people just eat it right up. Yeah, no. Now, there was one line here I thought was really funny. The Star Wars fandom has always been a divided and divisive one. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. There might be some disagreements about maybe minor plot points or side characters, but no, fandom has not been divided and divisive. Not until Disney bought Star Wars from George Lucas, and then things started going south. Let's see. With a portion objecting to what they perceive as wokeness, quote unquote, in the Disney era. No, it is exactly that. And if I've seen one article on the subject matter, I've seen two or three others talking about the Disney treatment to Star Wars, how they're handling Star Wars. I never thought I would tune in to read about a Star Wars TV show and hear somebody say, "Oh yeah, it has lesbians in it, or it caters to the LGBTQRS ABC what have you community." No, I never would have thought about equating Star Wars with that. But apparently that's what we're getting, and to a great many people, it is a turnoff. I'm sorry. It is unfortunate, but this is something that is dividing and divisive to many of fans. Plus, let's face it, some very bad writing, some very bad sophomoric, stupid writing, very bad character development, plotting, plot points, character building, character development. I mean, it looks pretty. There are parts of Ahsoka that looked really, really good, but the story overall was atrocious. Oh, in the chat. Hello, Dad Man Walking. Hello there. Wanted to say hi, just passing through. Very cool. Yeah, I'll be chatting a little bit about everybody's favorite dumpster fire. Yes, bad writing, just like Ahsoka. Yes, Ahsoka and Book of Boba Fett. Ahsoka was just bad TV. Yes. That and what was the other one? Oh, Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was horrific. I mean, they looked pretty and all, but yeah. And then when people complain about it, and when people say in reviews, "Oh, we just didn't like it," they come up with this excuse of Star Wars fandom has always been a divided and divisive one. To me, I look at this and I'm reminded of those pencil neck geeks who always say things like, Star Trek has always been political. Eh. Like, no, no, it hasn't. Star Trek has not always been, well, not in the way they're thinking of. It's like, yes, Star Trek has been political, just not in the way they want it to be or the way they're trying to make it. Star Wars fandom has not been a divided and divisive one. Not until George Lucas sold it off to Disney. And then, oh, I hear my kitty cats in the background. Maybe they'll go back to sleep. Nope, they're going to be meowing. Okay, well, I'll rush through this. So I want to get through these articles and really share with you what I enjoy the most is TV shows and movies that I just love as alternatives to Disney Star Wars. Let's see. I'm looking at now the dailybeast.com, the Acolyte, the 180 million Star Wars prequels is a shocking waste of time. Not even the offensively colossal budget for the hotly anticipated series makes up for a tepid story and bland surprises. This franchise is running on fumes. If even it's running at all. Like, I'm not going to keep repeating myself saying Star Wars is dead. It's like, yeah, Star Wars is dead. No, no, it's not dead. It's just those of us who are old school fans, those of us who are around since the 70s, who remember watching Star Wars in the theater when it first came out, that's not dead. We'll always have those happy, happy memories of something that was fantastic, that's shaped our culture, that changed the landscape of science fiction. Let's see. I don't know. I'm kind of cold reading this article. I'm trying to find what was the one takeaway from this article. I don't know. It keeps coming back to the showrunner, Leslie Headland, who has a, shall we say, controversial past. And I don't want to dig into it all that much. I've seen some steals from it. I've watched the trailer. The trailer just looks bland. Read the synopsis. I've watched other people's reviews on YouTube. Like I said, there's plenty of people who are already reviewing this. It's like I don't even have a Disney Plus account. So I'm not even going to waste my time watching the show. You people out there reviewing this, you guys are doing an excellent job. I enjoy your reviews. You're quite literally taking one for the YouTube team. Let's see. This is bounding into comics article. The Acolyte to reportedly lose everyone after third episode. Get ready for pronouns and Star Wars. Yes. Did you ever think, if you're like in the Gen X generation, if you remember seeing Star Wars in the theaters in 1977 or whenever, did you ever think that Star Wars would get to a point where there would be pronouns in it and whatnot? Let's see. According to a new report, while two-part premiere of Leslie Headland's The Acolyte will come across as inoffensive, right? I guess there must be a new definition of that word I'm not familiar with. To long-term Star Wars fans, the series' third episode will lose everyone thanks to some truly abysmal creative decisions. Oh boy. Well, let's see. This article's been covered. It's been discussed and discussed again. There's a completely redefine what the Force is. You're going to see. Uh, I highlighted it right here, and I don't even want to say this. I do not connect this to Star Wars because Star Wars is not about this stupid stuff here. Star Wars should be about fantastical escapism. But are we going to get that? No, no, we're going to get probably something with a Star Wars veneer with modern storytelling for the current day audience and whatnot. Let's see. Okay, well, that's a quick article. Okay, I'm glad I've moved past through all these articles because I just didn't want to dig into that too much. Now I'm to the point where I am going to enjoy this because I love talking about stuff I enjoy. I love sharing it. I always think of these segments like old-fashioned show and tell. Those of you who are old enough to remember going to like elementary or middle school, what have you, depending on your generation, you always had show and tell in class where you took your favorite comic book or something and said, "Hey, this is my favorite comic book I'm bringing for show and tell." And let's see. Oh, I want to catch up in the chat. Disney Star Wars, dum de dum dum dum. Yes. Lucas Star Wars is alive and well. I just installed Dark Forces Jedi Knight series PC games. Oh, that sounds cool. Yes, yes. There are times I find myself thinking, gee, maybe my microphone won't pick that up. It won't pick it up, will it? No. No, but it seems like she has decided to go back to sleep. Don't let her in my computer room because I've got a lot of shall we say, breakables and things that could get knocked around and whatnot. All right. So as I rearrange some things, my desk is a clutter right now. Well, around my desk is a clutter. Get a quick drink of some tea to wet the whistle there. Let's see. What do I want to do? I want to do this. And to start with tonight's adventure in physical media, some alternatives to Disney Star Wars. If you're a sci-fi fan and you're looking for something to fill that uh, hole, that sci-fi hole that has been made by turning away from bad Star Wars. Oh, hello there, Will Wade Nation Gaming Clips. Very cool to see you here tonight. Let's see. Go and fire up the old desk cam here. Starting things off with Firefly. This was a wonderful series, very short lived. Joss Whedon's Firefly. Firefly, and of course, Serenity. And this was wonderful. The writing, the characters, uh, wonderful cast. I can't say enough about this show. It's of course we all know the particulars about it. I don't have to read the little blurb because we all know about it. It's a wonderful series. If you collect physical media, and seriously, if you're a sci-fi TV show, movie geek, well, not even sci-fi, if you love entertainment in general, you're going to have a DVD movie collection, and you're going to have it full of your favorite TV shows and whatnot. Let's just see. Yep, that's what discs. This is the Serenity Steelbook set. I've got the complete series. the terribly short-lived but wonderfully done series. And this right here, what's this? What is that? Yeah, that's it right there. That's yay. They're discs. Nothing really pretty to look at, but yeah, I at least want to open that up. Oh, Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips says you're just stopping by. Made 4 videos off to bed. Oh, that's cool. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Have a good evening. Again, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. Sometimes I try to stick to a regular live streaming schedule. Sometimes, life being what it is, sometimes you just don't have the opportunities to do a regular live stream schedule. Sometimes I do Monday nights and Wednesday nights, sometimes at 10 p.m., sometimes at 11 p.m. Just recently started doing a Saturday afternoon live stream for all things comic book and comic book related. So this is what the first series I want to start off tonight with, Firefly Serenity. I don't know how many times I've watched this. Always good. Always pick it up, take it off the shelf, put it in the. Yes, my kitty's agreeing as well. She was asleep, but she hears me talking on my computer, and she says, "Why are you talking to yourself when you should be paying attention to me? It's all about me." Yeah, I'm going to set those right there. All right, what's next? What's next? Um, I got a little bit of everything physical media wise. Sticking with sci-fi recommendations, Farscape, the complete series box set, 20th anniversary in Blu-ray. I absolutely love this show. This was a great series. Loved how it had a good beginning, a good middle, and they are fortunate enough to have an ending to it with a mini series that kind of capped off the series. Come on, camera, focus, focus. There we go. Low spec Linux laptop saying right now I've been busy and slowed way down on uploading CPU graphics gaming vids. Oh, that sounds cool. Ah, I had to mute my mic while I coughed a little bit. Allergies being what they are. Now this is oh I love this series. I cannot this things I'm going to show tonight are shows I just absolutely love. Farscape. I don't know how many times I've watched this through. It's a huge collection here. I you talk about how they package big box sets. Sometimes it leaves a lot to be desired. I don't particularly care how some of these are boxed. I will some of the box sets I have. I will show and discuss packaging. This is good to have. It's a complete series. I believe it's on streaming. Well, it has to be on streaming out there. But yeah, if you don't have, if your internet ever goes down and you can't stream, physical media is the way to go. And Farscape is in my top 5 all-time favorite sci-fi TV shows. It competes for the number one spot with. Oh, since I said number one spot, I might as well go right into the next TV series. The next TV series that I absolutely loved, Babylon 5. Got the fifth season, fourth season, third, second, and of course the first season. I love everything about this show. Babylon 5 was fantastic. It came out of nowhere, and uh, it was just mind blowing. The scope of the story, the character build, the universe building, the character building, the world building, the character arcs, the character development. J. Michael Straczynski did a fantastic job with this show. This is my number one favorite sci-fi TV show. Like I said, it kind of goes back and forth between this and Farscape, but yeah, these two kind of compete for number one. It's a two-way tie for Babylon 5 and Farscape. Maybe Farscape might be pulling in second, but yeah, Babylon 5, highly recommend this. If you have never watched Babylon 5, uh, seriously, watch it. The common complaints I hear about new people who watch Babylon 5 for the first time, they'll always say the first season was really hard to get into, really hard to get through. Yes, it takes a little time to set up the characters, set up the world, the universe, the environment they're in, the things going on. But once you get past the first season and get into the second season, it takes off. I mean, it hits the ground running and there's no stopping it. Well, it was kind of almost stopped because there's always contention. From what I remember, there was always some stuff about the network always threatening to cancel it. So it's like the creator and writers never knew if they're going to have a completed fourth season, what they're going to do for the fifth season. But yeah, there's this. There was a spinoff series called what was it? Crusade. Excellent series. I can't say enough about these. They're absolutely fantastic shows. And if you're looking for something to replace Disney Star Wars, these are it. You'll watch these and you'll stop thinking about the terrible state of Disney Star Wars. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm going to continue on with the sci-fi genre, and then I'm going to mix it up a little bit and go into fantasy. As I look around, fantasy, and then 80s. Being a child of the 80s, I will always show off some favorite TV shows from the 80s. Let's see, what do I want? Oh, all right. So where I said Babylon 5 and Farscape were tied for number one, or possibly number one being Babylon 5 and the second place going to Farscape. Third place in my top five would be this show right here. This is a show called Dark Matter, 3 seasons. Came out on Sci-Fi Channel some time ago, and it was a great show. I quite enjoyed the premise. The premise is you have a crew, like 5 or 6 or 7 people wake up on this spaceship and they have amnesia. They have absolutely no idea who they are, what they're doing there, what the purpose is. So the first season sets it all up. They have to figure out who they were, and they find out that, oh, you're all criminals. You're all like mercenaries who like go around killing people for fun and money and all that. And they decide, well, maybe we want to be better people. better versions of ourselves. So they go back and decide, well, we don't have our memories. We just have what people tell us we've done in the past. And it's a very, very entertaining show. Um, the only thing I hate about Dark Matter is that it ended on a third season on a cliffhanger. I absolutely hate when TV shows are canceled on a cliffhanger. Seriously, it makes me want to write my congressman or something like that and complain about that. I was like, you should do something, make that illegal. Of all the stupid laws that gets passed, make one that actually benefits people and say, you shall not cancel TV shows on a cliffhanger. But no, that's just me being ridiculous, I guess. But anyway, Dark Matter. If you've never seen it, this is a recommendation I always give people that say, "Oh, we're looking for something new to watch," or "We don't know what's out there." Very good cast, very good cast, good production values, good acting. Like I said, this could have gone on for like 2 or 3 seasons more easily because they did a really good job world building, uh, building the lore to the franchise. I'd love to see this show come back. This is a great show. Easily better in my book than anything from Disney Star Wars. So yeah, I'm going to set that aside and move on to let's see, where do I want to go? Oh, no. Okay, yeah, I'm at a point where I can slowly slide into the 80s now by saying if you're a sci-fi fan or a sci-fi geek and you're looking for something to binge on, as my studio lighting goes crazy over this right now. Yes, this is Battlestar Galactica, the complete epic series DVD collector's box set. Yeah, if you love sci-fi, you probably have a good collection of your favorite sci-fi TV shows. Many of us probably have this on our shelves. Then this guy, well, he hasn't really been replaced. He's been, I'll say that humongous DVD box set has been supplemented with the Blu-ray remastered Battlestar Galactica collection. Battlestar Galactica, the original series, and unfortunately, it does include this thing called Galactica 1980, which the less said about that, the better. Wonderfully packaged, very nice. We get a nice. Oh, here we go. This does not exist. This goes away. That's going back into the box because that does not exist. Here we go. Battlestar Galactica, the original series on Blu-ray, widescreen. Great show. Very imaginative. Very fun. I mean, it was this at the time, then Star Trek, well, reruns of Star Trek TOS, and then Buck Rogers. I don't have Buck Rogers on physical media yet. That is in my must get list. But yeah, looking for something fun to watch or possibly rewatch, Battlestar Galactica. All right, so where am I going to now? All right, I am going now, going from sci-fi genre to kind of fantasy. The Last Kingdom, the complete series. I don't know what you'd call this. It's not historical. It's not sword and sorcery type fantasy. historical fantasy. That's kind of the term applied to what was it? The Viking show, The Last Kingdom. It's a similar vein as Vikings. For those who have watched that Vikings TV series. Oh, low spec Linux laptop saying, "What about Babylon 5?" Yeah, I was discussing Babylon 5 earlier. Absolutely loved Babylon 5. It's number one on my top five all-time favorite sci-fi TV shows. Probably a close tie or a good second place would be Farscape, but yeah. It's all right. It's all good. No worries. So, let's see. All right, so Last Kingdom. This was a pretty fun series. Kind of historical because we do have some events going on here. Let's see. As I read from the back of the box set carton. Uh, at the end of the ninth century, many of the separate kingdoms, which we now call England, have fallen in bloody conflict with invading Danes. Against this turbulent backdrop lives our hero, Ultred, played by Alexander Draymond. Born the son of a Saxon nobleman, he is captured by the Danes and raised as one of their own. For many years, fate binds him to Alfred, Saxon king of Wessex. Uhtred must fight for Alfred's dream of uniting the kingdoms. It's like trying to unite all of England under one rule, basically. Suffering great personal tragedy, Uhtred is torn between the country of his birth and the people of his upbringing. After his father's death, the turbulent reign of the new king, Edward, threatens Alfred's dream more than ever. When faced with old enemies and fresh heartbreak, Uhtred finds his own fate tied to the future of the nation. So yeah, this was a pretty interesting TV show. If you liked, I don't know, I don't want to compare this to Game of Thrones because that was fantasy. There are no dragons in this, of course, but this is a fun series. I quite enjoyed it. Um, I also have Vikings, all the seasons of Vikings on physical media. I just didn't grab them at the time for this little physical media share. I think I prefer The Last Kingdom over Vikings. I mean, both of these, of course, take liberties with history, but yeah, what doesn't? The Last Kingdom. If you like this sort of historical fantasy type TV show, you'll probably enjoy The Last Kingdom. There was this, and then there was a follow up movie, which I have not watched yet. Let's see. All right. So I started off there. Oops, oops. Okay, well, this is also 80s, and this is also science fiction, but no sci-fi fan, no collection would be complete without the complete series of Max Headroom. If you again, wow, how to describe Max Headroom, the series? It was certainly a product of its time. It's out there in a good way. You have if you've never watched this show, you have to watch it. It's I'm sure the first uh TV movie is on YouTube, I believe. Yes, low spec Linux laptop saying Blipverts. Yes, Blipverts says it all. This is a 4 disc box, well, 4 disc set from who put this out? Shout Factory. Shout Factory has been doing some very interesting things because they are putting out uh, box sets of TV shows, steelbook editions of some movies. Check out Shout Factory or Shout Factory. Oh, I don't know what they call it. Yeah, shoutfactory.com. One interesting thing they do is they also have their own YouTube channels, or they have streams of old TV shows running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like I was checking out Reboot, a 90s Canadian animated series, which is also very fun. I don't have that in physical media. If I had Reboot in physical media, I would be sharing it with you all as well. But yeah, Max Headroom, that's a fun series. Uh, if you were to ask me if there was a TV show that would be reboot or remake proof, I would have said Max Headroom because it was just so odd, so out there that you can't capture this magic. Lightning does not strike twice. I say that, and then last year I came across this news article about a Max Headroom remake starring the original actors or some of the original actors in it, and I thought, well, that's crazy. There's no way you can do a reboot or remake or maybe a continuation. Because seriously, it's been like 40 years, a good 30 years. When did this come out? This came out in 1987. So yeah, a good long time ago. But yeah, this is another recommendation. If you've never watched this series and you're looking for something new, odd, different, Max Headroom is it. Let's see. I touched on dark matter. All right. Now I'm moving away from what am I doing? I'm moving away firmly away from the sci-fi genre now because it's not always sci-fi all the time. It's fantasy, it's anime, it's 80s, it's murder mysteries. And speaking of murder mysteries, I have this is the complete Granada television series of Sherlock Holmes, starring Jeremy Brett, who many consider the absolute best actor to ever portray the character. This is a wonderful series. If you are a fan of Sherlock Holmes or a fan of Jeremy Brett, you probably already have this collection. Wonderfully produced, uh, great acting in it. Jeremy Brett becomes Sherlock Holmes. Unfortunately, this was a very short-lived series, 41 episodes on 12 discs. Jeremy Brett started off. It was supposed to be a long-run series. Unfortunately, he had health problems and had an unfortunate passing before the series could be really run its course. But yeah, I mean, there's Jeremy Brett as Sherlock Holmes. I mean, forget that. Forget the what's his name, Benedict Cumberbatch. batch and the new BBC take on Sherlock Holmes. This is the definitive Sherlock Holmes right here. I mean, if you're looking for something fun and enjoyable and you like Sherlock Holmes, this is a must have. Let's see. Oh, when did this come out? This was oh, I tell you, the print on these gets smaller and smaller. I can't see a date on this. Anyway, it's a product of the 80s, the wonderful, magical decade known as the 80s. Wonderful things came from that decade. Well, even the 70s. 70s were pretty good as well. 80s, 70s, the 90s were all right. And then, I don't know, things went to crap after that. I don't know. But anyway, Sherlock Holmes, that's another great recommendation. All right. Another favorite of mine, also a property of the 80s, The Equalizer, old TV show starring Edward Woodward as a former British spy, super spy, what have you, retires and decides to help people in need. And so, just reading from the back of it here. The Equalizer, Robert McCall, is a former veteran of the British Army and the shadowy government agency known as the Company. He breaks away from the Company after getting disillusioned with his cloak and dagger life. He seeks atonement by offering his services to the public through the above advertisement in the newspapers. And it's simply an ad saying, odds against you, need help, call the Equalizer. This was a fun series. And also, this is a box set that I think they did an excellent job with. I mean, this is the way to do it. Well, if you've got more than 4 discs and you don't want to worry about the discs flying all over the place when you open up the box set, this is how you do it. Put them in little protective sleeves, little slip covers like this, a little album, and just boom, right there. That's perfect. That is great. This is runner up to the best packaging I've seen yet for big DVD or Blu-ray box sets. Got a nice little slip case right there. The Equalizer, fun show. Again, product of the 80s. But if you never watched it, I know there's those 3 Denzel Washington movies, also called The Equalizer, where he plays Robert McCall. Those are fun. I'm generally against race changing characters, but Denzel is a great actor. And his movies, his take on the character, the Equalizer, was fun. I don't mind that. All right, moving right along. Okay. Sticking with the 80s, and one of my favorite TV shows that's not sci-fi or fantasy, Magnum PI. Okay, I realize I have strayed from sci-fi recommendations to counter Disney Star Wars, but I just love sharing this. Magnum PI, Tom Selleck, the complete series on Blu-ray. Children of the 80s. Admit it, you grew up watching these shows. And it's wonderfully packaged because you put them all together and it spells Magnum PI. You got the title, the main cast right there. Wonderfully done. I mean, this is clever merchandising. This is clever packaging right here. And what's really clever is the slipcase. Not only do you have graphics on all over, well, you got like mundane stuff on the bottom, but you have like your art here on the inside. Look at that. On the inside of the slipcase, you have a scene from the TV series. I don't know how many. This is very clever. This is very clever. Well done. Great packaging. Great merchandising. That's just neat. I don't know. I don't know if there's any other box set that's as clever as this. Magnum PI, great series. Great series from a wonderful, wonderful decade. Well done. This is a great addition to anyone who loves quality entertainment. Some great TV shows here I've been sharing with you guys. Let's see. Okay. All right. Sticking with Tom Selleck, because he's a great actor. This is something I recently I picked up a while back. This is Tom Selleck, the Jesse Stone 9-movie collection. Jesse Stone is a character from a series of novels, uh, crime novels, detective, well, cop novels. I forget the particulars on who wrote them, but this is a very good series of movies, actually. Like I said, 9 movies of this character, Jesse Stone, portrayed by Tom Selleck. Yeah, it's pretty standard fare right here as far as packaging goes. Uh, it's a sort of thing that I'll probably someday look up the novels that this is based on and kind of collect them maybe and start reading them. Because there are things I find out that, oh, a movie or TV show is based on some novels. And I find myself thinking, well, if I'm really enjoying the movie or the TV show, how much more am I going to enjoy the novels? So, yeah, I find myself in that boat with these and a few other TV shows and movies. Let's see, where am I? Oh, don't want to forget those. I almost forgot those. Okay. Yeah, I got those there. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out where I am and where do I want to go next. Okay. All right. I'm skipping past the 80s. I'm going to the 70s now. How to describe this? 1974 to 1975. Kolchak the Night Stalker, the complete series. For those of you who have absolutely no idea what or who Kolchak is, let's see, reading from the back of it here. The uniquely eerie mystery series that paved the way for X-Files, the X-Files, finally comes to Blu-ray. Yay. With all 20 episodes digitally restored to capture every shiver, every scream, and every bump in the night. Emmy nominee Darren McGavin reprises his role from the popular television movies The Night Stalker, 1972, and The Night Strangler, 1973, as Carl Kolchak, a headstrong investigative reporter on the trail of the paranormal. Zombies, vampires, werewolves, ghosts, succubi, and even aliens. No matter how unnatural or unbelievable, Kolchak is there to uncover the truth, one supernatural threat at a time. Join the hunt in the dark alleys and creepy hidden layers of Chicago with such sensational guests as, oh, it has a pretty good guest list. I won't ramble on about that. But yeah, this was a fun series. Kolchak the Night Stalker, the complete series on Blu-ray. If you are a fan of the X-Files, this is very much in the same vein as the X-Files. I believe it was a direct inspiration to, what's his name? Chris Carter, to actually create the X-Files. Very fun. 20 episodes, goes quick. But if you're looking for something uh, long form TV show that you've never seen before, something that might feel a horror, fantasy, sci-fi, supernatural vibe to it, Kolchak the Night Stalker. Let's see, what else do I have here? Okay. Okay, I'm not quite done for the, well, I'm not done at the, because I've still got a ways to go with some things I really enjoy. Uh, this was an absolute treat. Doc Savage, The Man of Bronze, Blu-ray. Let's see, when was this? 1970. Where's my magnifier? I tell you, sometimes things get, I can't find my magnifying glass. Oh no. Oh well. I will squint really hard. Looks like 1975. All right. Doc Savage, The Man of Bronze, 1975. Reading from the back, based on the first of Kenneth Robison's 181 action-packed Doc Savage books. Doc Savage, The Man of Bronze, hits the screen with all its gee-whiz, gung-ho spirit intact, and its bold protagonist, who, along with having a Herculean body, is also a surgeon, linguist, and inventor, remains determined to do right to all and wrong to no one. Ron Ely, TV's Tarzan, plays the strapping savage in this high camp, big heroics tale of his trek into the Valley of the Vanished to confront the power hungry Captain C's. And behind the camera are pros who know how to get the most of this entertainment bronze mine. Okay, yeah, and it just goes on about the who, the what, the why, the wherefore, and stuff. This was a fun movie. Rated G for those who are concerned about movie ratings and whatnot. I would almost go as far as to say this could be a family-friendly movie because it's not overly well, it's not overly violent, certainly not graphic. You don't have all the crap in this that you have to worry about modern entertainment today. This is a throwback to a bygone era when movies simply entertained. Well, very much like the era that the original Star Wars was, 1977, 1975, the era when movies such as this and Star Wars were escapism. Now, this is a recommendation from me. The only problem I have with this is that there's not more of it because I watched this I was grinning ear to ear at points. Very enjoyable, fun, very enjoyable. It left me wanting more. I wanted more of this. Again, uh, the sort of thing where I find myself thinking, if I enjoyed the movie or TV show, how much more am I going to enjoy the novels? And with that said, I actually found the first novel at a decent price. So yeah, haven't dug into this yet. I'm looking forward to reading this. This is Doc Savage, Man of Bronze, #1. I believe this was the seventh printing. Then your Doc Savage, Man of Bronze Blu-ray. Very fun. I'm looking forward to digging into this. I'm looking forward to reading it, to see if I enjoy the novel just as much, if not more, than the movie. I'm really hoping so. I'll set these aside. Let's see. Where do I want to go next? Okay. Okay. Let me get a quick drink here to wet my whistle. There we go. All right. So there I was talking some about historical fantasy. Now I'm going into what was this? This is I want to say 1979. Okay, sword and sorcery type fantasy from the late 70s, early 80s. This is my absolute favorite B movie, Hawk the Slayer. This is if you like camp, if you like low budget but big heart kind of movies, Hawk the Slayer is a gem. I don't know. I may lose some people on this one, but I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I believe there is a campaign to continue the story. We have Jack Palance and John Terry. Jack Palance, of course, uh, playing the evil brother to John Terry's good brother. And John Terry, of course, fans of Lost know him as Jack's dad from the Lost TV show. And I'm sure he's done plenty of other stuff besides Hawk the Slayer and Lost, but that's just two notable roles for him. Jack Palance is Jack Palance. He hams it up in this, chewing the scenery like nobody's business. I mean, Hawk the Slayer, the title character, of course, assembles his crew of heroes to battle the bad guys to save those who are in need. That's basically the story. But yeah, this was a fun movie. Like I said, it's my favorite B movie. It is low budget, it is campy, but I don't know, it has a certain charm to it. I mean, you talk about low budget, their special effects consist of glow in the dark ping pong balls, glow in the dark hula hoops, and silly string. To see how those are utilized, you just have to watch the movie. Oh, hello in the chat again. Lemon Pie. Hello there. And you've seen some videos where they review or go over cheesy movies for fun and they cover this movie. Yeah. Yeah, I believe well, most famously, MST3K did a riff track for this movie. But yeah, this is a fun movie right here. Okay, where do I want to go to from? Okay, so I've been covering TV shows and movies as far as physical media goes, as far as things that can fulfill a the gap left by Disney Star Wars. If you find yourself stopping with Disney Star Wars, like now Star Wars is dead, you might find yourself thinking and you're looking for alternatives. Let's see, what am I going to next? I am going to print media now. It's not all movies and TV shows all the time. No, I've got some novels here that are pretty enjoyable. Oh, Lemon Pie saying you think it's a Red Letter Media video. That could very well be. I have not kept up with Red Letter Media. I do want to say that does sound about right because they do very clever reviews on a great many things. So very much like Man of Bronze here, looking for alternatives to take up my time. I have Armageddon 2419 AD, the original Buck Rogers novel by Philip Francis Nowlin. So yeah, if you're a fan of Buck Rogers, the old TV show, you've never read I've never read this. I saw this for a good price, much like Doc Savage, the Man of Bronze. I thought, well, that's a pretty good price on this. It's a good shape. I'm going to check this out and read that and see how it compares to the TV show. And then let's see what else do I have here. Something I am in the middle of. Isaac Asimov, the Foundation trilogy. We've got Foundation, we got Foundation and Empire, which I'm halfway through this one. I've read Foundation. I've read Foundation. Well, half of Foundation and Empire, and then the last one is Second Foundation. When I heard that Apple TV or Apple Plus TV or whatever the Apple calls its streaming service was going to do an adaptation of Isaac Asimov's Foundation, I thought I wanted to get the books and I wanted to read the books. So I got the books and started reading them. And then I watched the Foundation TV show. Yeah. Uh, there's nothing good. Well, I almost said there was nothing good about that TV show. If I pretended I knew nothing about the novels, I might enjoy that TV show better. But since I now know what the Foundation novels are about, that Foundation TV show is awful. It's like nothing to do with the books aside from name only. I mean, you've got the characters in there, you've got actors portraying the characters, and that's it. Uh, yeah, I'm entertained by these. I find myself liking them. I will have to get all the way through all three books before I decide on if I really enjoy them or not. But I'm leaning toward, yeah, I enjoy these. It's pretty interesting. I've read other books by Isaac Asimov, quite enjoyable. Let's see. This one I'm looking forward to reading. This one I'm looking forward to reading. So yeah, viable alternatives to anything on TV nowadays. Let's see. What else do I have here? Ah, yes, yes. A book by Terry Pratchett, one of my favorite authors so far. This particular one is Hogfather, a Discworld novel. For those of you who are familiar with Terry Pratchett, you probably enjoy His Discworld series. I love his sense of humor. The very first novel of his I picked up and read was a novel called Feet of Clay. Terry Pratchett's Feet of Clay. That was the first one I picked up and read all the way through. It's not the first book in the Discworld novel series. I forget which the thing. Feet of Clay is like, I don't know, uh, number 5 or 6 in the Discworld novel series. But if you know nothing about the Discworld novel series and you were looking for a jumping on point, I thought Feet of Clay was a good one. Um, it is rare that a book will make me laugh out loud when I'm reading it, and Feet of Clay did that. Hogfather was also enjoyable. I started reading this. I forget how far I got into this. I got my, I don't know. Did I not use a bookmark? I did not use a bookmark. Oh, I didn't use a bookmark. Oh, well. Anyway, I will probably start all over again in this because I don't know where I got to on this. Of course, there are a couple of movies, The Color of Magic and Hogfather, that are adapted from Terry Pratchett novels. Those are excellent. If I had thought, I would have grabbed them off my media shelf and shared with everyone this live stream. I may do that for another time. But yeah, Terry Pratchett, fun author. He unfortunately passed away recently. Um, there is a Hulu series that is a loose adaptation of one of Terry Pratchett's novels. Stay far away from that. I forget the name of it, but if you see Terry Pratchett Hulu TV show, don't watch it. If you're familiar with his novels, you're probably already familiar with that horrible Hulu series. Yeah, don't watch it at all. All right. All right, where am I going to? All right. So yeah, when I say I was showing all these as alternatives to Disney Star Wars, I started thinking, well, what is an alternative to Disney Star Wars aside from, well, Star Wars itself? And in print media, alternatives to Disney Star Wars is, well, there's just a few novels I have here from the Star Wars universe. Alan Dean Foster's Splinter of the Mind's Eye. This was a fun read. I don't know how many times I've read this. You can tell it's seen some wear to it. This was fun. This is the Han Solo Adventures. Han Solo at Star's End, Han Solo's Revenge, Han Solo and the Lost Legacy. So this is 3 Han Solo novels all in one big book. Very fun read. It has been decades, honestly. I can't remember the last time I made my way through these books. This is something I'm going to have to go through again. So yeah, alternative to Disney Star Wars is simply Star Wars, whether it's the original trilogy or Star Wars and novel form, or even comic books. I'll throw in comic books there as well because there are plenty of novels out there in the extended or expanded universe. You might say, of course, most famous of which is the work by Timothy Zahn, Volume 1 of the 3-book cycle, Heir to the Empire. Book Volume 2, Dark Force Rising. And then Volume 3, The Last Command. So yeah, these are nice, pretty sizable. This should fill that whole left in your in the sci-fi fan void. It's like if you, especially if you've never read them, if you're a new fan and you've never read the older material, you probably enjoy these. Of course, Disney most famously decanonized all this. Then you had what's her name, Kathleen Kennedy, just come out and make that stupid statement like, "Oh, well, there's no source material for us to draw from, so we have to make things up as we go along." All the while, old school fans are like pointing at our bookshelves, going, "What do you mean there's no source material for you to draw from? Come on, seriously." As we just collectively throw our hands up in the air and go, "What is the problem here?" No, it's funny because this goes back to one of the biggest problems that Disney has is they don't want to look at what has been done before, the decades and decades of lore and canon and the Star Wars universe. So they decanonize it, they pretend it doesn't exist. But they like to pick and choose characters and elements from these books that they can bring into their own TV shows and butcher. Like, well, Grand Admiral Thrawn, for one. I mean, you can take him, you can change him a little bit, you can change his character a little bit, and then just mess things up, goof things up. But yeah, uh, this is the frustration with older fans. Newer fans, I don't really blame you guys that much because you might not have been aware of Star Wars from way back when. But yeah, there's lots of lore. I mean, comic books alone, years and years of Marvel, Star Wars comic books, and who else was doing? I want to say Dark Horse, going off the top of my head. Low spec Linux laptop saying Kotar. There's some of the Knights of the Old Republic. I'm guessing it's all Star Wars. Yeah, that's cool. Dark Forces, Jedi Knight, Kotar, just off the top of my head for video games. Ah, cool. I am aware of those. I have not played them. I have not really played. I'm not a big gamer. I occasionally play some games like Unreal Tournament or maybe what is it, Quake? The ones I've managed to make run on my Linux powered desktop. But yeah, I might try getting more into gaming. But yeah, there's just so much content that Disney is, oh, quite frankly, blatantly ignoring. And this is fun. If you're a collector, I mean, Star Wars will turn you into a hoarder. What I have in my hands right now is the Star Wars trilogy VCD box set. They're not DVDs, they're not Blu-rays, they're not even laser discs. No, I actually have the laser disc trilogy box set. It's huge. It's like massive. For those of you who know what laser discs are, no, VCDs are a very strange video format. Think old school CDs, because this is essentially the technical specs for you computer geeks out there. I believe this is MPEG-1 video at 240 lines of resolution, all on a standard CD. So this is the first Star Wars movie on 2 CDs. So you got like an hour on one side and the rest on the other side. So the CD can only hold like an hour, I don't know, 45 to 50 minutes of video. These box sets are out there. Yeah, like I said, Star Wars turned me into a hoarder because I had to get, I don't know, as much as I could afford. I had to get all things Star Wars. Of course, I got the DVDs, the VHS tapes. Everybody's seen Star Wars on VHS. Everybody's seen the DVDs, the Blu-rays. A lot of people have even collected the laser discs. The laser disc being the granddaddy of all the optical media formats. I say the granddaddy, and probably followed by VCD because VCD is kind of obscure even for movie buffs. Yeah. So yeah, maybe it's safe to say the best alternative to Disney Star Wars is good old fashioned original trilogy Star Wars and the EU. I mean, no matter how many times you may have read through these novels, the comic books and whatnot, uh, they're still fun to pick up and read through, aren't they? Takes you back to a bygone era, maybe bringing back memories of the first time you bought them and read through them. I certainly remember when I got this book and read through it the first time. I thought, well, that was fun. Didn't have Han Solo in it, but that was still fun. Then, of course, you grow up, you learn the backstory as to why this particular novel was created and all the stuff about if Han Solo will return or not as a character. It has been ages since I've read these. I'm going to have to go back and reread these simply because I just don't remember them all. But yeah, it's a blast just thinking about all the stuff Star Wars fans have. Let's see. I believe as I look to my left and look to my right and look behind me, I have uh I have gone through everything I wanted to touch on tonight. The dismal state of Disney Star Wars and the Acolyte that I am not going to review. A great many others are going to review the Acolyte and have reviewed it, uh, and I will enjoy their videos. I will enjoy their reviews. Um, Time is when you think about it, time is precious. You don't know how much of it you have, and I don't like wasting time on shows I'm not going to enjoy, shows that insult me, or the creators insult me, or other fans or whatnot, or just fandom in general by saying nonsensical things like Star Wars fandom has always been divided and divisive. No, it hasn't. It hasn't. Let's see. I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to go back to this right here. Make this do this. And there it is. Oh, look at that. That's neat. So yeah, I went through those few articles quickly because I really wanted to have some fun tonight and share with everyone things that I enjoy, things that bring enjoyment. If you're done with Disney Star Wars like I am, like I probably safe to say a great many of us are, Like a great many of us fans, old and new, are just done with Star Wars and what Disney is giving us, and we're just walking away from it. And you might be thinking, well, what do we find to fill its place? I mean, there's Star Wars isn't dead. We got the old school Star Wars, but we want to enjoy something new, maybe something we haven't seen. So I wanted to share with everyone a bunch of physical media that I've enjoyed over the years, things that could be just as good, if not better, than anything, well, easily better than anything Disney's putting out right now. Old standbys as classic 80s TV shows I've loved, Babylon 5, Farscape, Firefly, old school Battlestar Galactica. Let's see. Oh, honorable mentions as I look over to the other room where my DVDs and TV shows and movies are all collected. I'll say Stargate SG-1. That's a good honorable mention. Let's see. What else is there? Stargate SG-1, a bunch of anime. I don't know. Someday I may do like an anime dedicated live stream or a series of live streams dealing with anime. Let me catch up with everyone in the chat. Let's see here. Between Wine, Proton, Lutris, I generally don't have a problem with games, although the newest game I have is Rise of the Tomb Raider. Okay. I'm familiar with Wine. I'm familiar with Proton. I am not familiar with Lutris, but that sounds like a good thing to look into. That's very cool. Star Wars Battlefront 2004 runs best with Steam's Proton. That's cool. Star Wars Empire at War GOG version, a Lutris installer. That's cool. The Prisoner. That was a fun one. I'm not a terribly big fan of The Prisoner. There were some themes to it that I didn't particularly care for some of the themes in it. There were some underlying things that I don't have time to go really in depth on that. I like it in some regards. In other regards, I don't like it. It was interesting, well produced. Loved the filming location of The Prisoner. I mean, the village, very, very scenic place. So it's kind of like on a place I wouldn't mind visiting one day if I ever travel. Like if I ever managed to travel around the world, I wouldn't mind visiting the village where The Prisoner was filmed. Let's see, what else did I touch on? Dark Matter. Dark Matter, that was number 3 in my top 5. Babylon 5, Farscape, Dark Matter, my 1, 2, 3. Stargate SG-1 and Stargate franchise would be, I guess, number 4. Number 5, probably Star Trek TOS. You gotta say Star Trek because that was also very influential on the sci-fi landscape. Made its mark on the culture. That's the other honorable mentions would be Buck Rogers. Buck Rogers season 1. Was not a fan of season 2. Talk about a night and day difference. I mean, that was jarring. Let's see what else was there. Space 1999. That was a fun show. Again, season 1 far superior to season 2. I honestly have not watched season 2 of Space 1999. I get as far as maybe 10 minutes into the first episode of season 2, and then I find myself tapping out. Much like Buck Rogers, it is a huge shift between season 1 and season 2. It's like night and day. Let me see. There are some other series out there I had started watching. Oh, UFO. UFO. I think I've got up to episode 5 or 6 of UFO, going way back, older sci-fi series. UFO is quite enjoyable so far. And then also from what's his name? Gary Anderson, Space 1999 and UFO. He did the super marionation shows, the marionette puppets on strings like Stingray and whatnot. The shows that I'm blanking on all of a sudden. But I have been rambling on here for some time. Ah, yes, yes, that's it. Exactly. Low spec Linux laptop. That's it right there. Yeah. That still throws me for a loop. It's like, okay, that's different. But I'll probably enjoy that series more and more once I get past episode 6. Well, once I make the time to sit down and continue on with that show. Let me see. I know there are others that he did. Gary Anderson. Thunderbirds. Yes. Thunderbirds. I just pulled up the Wikipedia for him. He did Space 1999, of course. Thunderbirds, Stingray, Fireball, XL5, Supercar. I tried an episode of Supercar, and that looked too strange for me. I may go back to that and give it another shot. But old school Thunderbirds, I know I've seen a few episodes of that. More than one, maybe not as many as 4 or 5, but I'll go back and give that another watch. Much like the novels I'm into, I'm in the middle of like 2 or 3 novels and in the middle of a number of TV shows. The ones that I'm slowly making my way through once I find the time to do so. But how long have I been rambling on? Oh, I just saw what time it is. Okay, it's getting pretty late for me. I've been rambling on here for a good amount of time. I had quite a bit of fun, and I hope everyone out there has as well. Let me go through the chat and give shout outs to everyone who joined me tonight. First one out of the gate, low spec Linux laptop. Thank you for joining me tonight and sticking all the way through. And you got that little penguin there. Very cool. We chatted quite a bit about yeah, the learning curve to Linux. Yes. As I have found it was like trial by fire because I had gotten fed up with Microsoft and people associated with Microsoft. I thought now it was a time to leave Microsoft behind and embrace Linux. Then let's see. Dad Man Walking. Just wanted to say hi, just passing through. Very cool. Very cool to see you here. And then Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips also saying hi as he had just stopping by after he made 4 videos and then went off to bed. And then Lemon Pie also stopped by and said hi, howdy. And I believe that's everyone who joined me tonight. I want to thank you all, whether you were live, lurking out there, or if you catch me on a replay. I go sometimes late on my live streams. I like to joke about weaponizing my insomnia, but there are times when I start to run out of steam. Love the 60s miniature cheesy special effects like Thunderbirds and Ultraman. Yes, yes. I watched, what was it? Stingray for the first time a week ago. I caught the first episode. I found where it was streaming, watched it, and I was just blown away by the sheer simplicity to it. I mean, it was simple, it was yet effective. It was kind of refreshing in a way because it simply told a story. You established the characters, you established the universe they're in, and then you established who they are, what they're doing, and then you just had fun with it. That was Stingray. I think I made it up to episode 3 now. But I think we're going to continue on with Stingray. Then I'll go to Thunderbirds, give that another watch. Fireball XL5, I had somebody suggest to me. I'll continue on with UFO, get past episode 6 or 7 of that. But yeah, I found myself loving those old shows from the 60s, 70s, not to mention the 80s, or not to forget the 80s. I mean, there's some great entertainment back then. That's kind of what we're lacking nowadays. We're lacking solid entertainment and escapism. Of course, I've been going on about all those shows. There was one show I almost pulled off the DVD shelf to chat about. I may do it in a future live stream, but that was uh, the Avengers TV series, not the comic book characters, but the Avengers, being John Steed and Emma Peel. Uh, Goodness, the names escape me of the actors. I know I have the internet right in front of me. Yes, Patrick McNee and Emma Peel, Diana Rigg. The Avengers is a British espionage television series created in 1961, ran for 161 episodes until 1969. And I have the Avengers mega box set with Emma Peel and John Steed. Yes, yes, I agree. Low spec Linux laptop. They had fun with certain things that we couldn't do today. Silly looking costumes, but they were playing it seriously. It's like, oh, yeah, this is our military uniform, but it looked silly. Things you cannot do today because people are, I don't know, uptight. But yeah, there are a lot of fun shows. The Avengers, Space 1999, Buck Rogers. I think we need to go back to that era of entertainment because what we have now is simply awful. I mean, no matter if it's Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, or what have you, everything now is bankrupt creatively. They are running aground. They're trying to beat a dead horse. Doctor Who, which I enjoyed in the 80s, Tom Baker was my doctor. A great series, even back then, even looking back at the 80s Doctor Who, and then I discovered the other doctors before Tom Baker, like John Pertwee. I think I've seen a few of his, a few Doctor Who episodes with him in it. Those were fun. We can't have that today. We can't have fun and escapism in our TV shows and entertainment and movies. We have to have the message. We have to have things that, I don't know, preach to us like, hey, look at this. This is a message. You should enjoy this show because we're giving you a message. And we're giving representation. Look, it's representation. Don't you enjoy that? Hey, why are our ratings crashing? Why is nobody watching? Oh, it must be the istophobes who refuse to watch our shows. What's wrong with you people? No, that's a sad state of entertainment today. I'm looking for a point, and hopefully in the very near future, when the pendulum will swing back and everybody can have fun again. I don't know when that will be, but anyway, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and end it for tonight because I can feel myself running out of steam, and I do have to get up early in the morning. I have to go and pretend to sleep and then get up early and do it all over again. Well, except for live streaming, because I only do Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at this point. Where am I? Okay, I'm there. I'm doing this and this. Do I want to do this? Yes. Okay. Anyway, thank you all for joining me tonight as I rambled on and shared a great many things with you all, chatted a little bit about a few articles here and there, and hope you all enjoyed my recommendations for entertainment that can replace Disney Star Wars or anything coming from Disney, whether it's Star Wars or Marvel or what have you. I think they're very solid recommendations for TV shows and a few movies, especially if you've never seen Babylon 5. If you've never watched Babylon 5, check it out. If I was a betting person, I'd almost dare say you would enjoy that. Along with Farscape, Dark Matter, those are some excellent TV shows. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Until next time, everyone, have a great rest of the week. Until next time, see ya. As I fumble around with my ending music, trying to get go. There it is, right there. Good night, everyone.